Evening, people. Welcome to BNR. We promised you that we're going to be back. Nothing really has happened. It feels like, guys, but in a weird and strange way, it feels like a lot has happened. Liverpool Twitter has been really busy since Curtis Jones did an interview, and then Ibu decided to do a presser with Arnie Slot. But we'll break it down. We've got a home game against a really good, strong side who haven't lost a game in 21 games, and we'll talk other bits and bobs, including playing football manager. But yeah, we're about 10-15 minutes late. Gene is on his way. He's in backstage as I speak, probably doing something really important, but he'll pop on really soon. But there's already nearly 100 people inside the chat. Smash a like, subscribe if you haven't already. And we'll be playing football manager as well, Avi, but I'll come to you very soon because Tom obviously wasn't here yesterday. Tom, how you been enjoying the world of Darwin since Saturday afternoon?
I'll tell you what, it's like the circus. It comes around once a year and it's really funny. That's effectively what it is, like the travelling circus that's finally made its trip back. We had it went up to Newcastle last season. It went down to Brentford this season. Gave us all lovely little moments. He's probably warranted a couple of starts now. But yeah, we needed that, especially with what Arsenal wanted to do against Villa afterwards. That felt like a big weekend that's just gone with some big moments, and it really was the first Klopp moment of the Slot era with a late winner caused by a bit of chaos. So hopefully that's a good omen for the rest of the season.
I like that, Avi. First Klopp moment of the Slot era. How are you anyway? Keeping well? And you promised me another exclusive today.
I'll stop chatting shit. No, I'm not.
No,
I'll get bad name otherwise. I did not say anything. Contrary to reports. No, I'm good. I saw some stuff happening today. A lot of Curtis Jones heat idiots. Gave his opinion. But apart from that, Slot said something. I feel that Rio teased him on about McAllister and Gravenberch being in a better suited position than Trent. Don't know if that was a jibe or not. And then Konate, apparently he said something as well about contracts and whatnot. So yeah,
we'll dive into it. I'm sure. Gene, that's a proper cup, proper cup.
I've won it a few times, man. This is the first time I won it.
I might nick
it's all these knockoffs that he gets from China and Turkey, isn't it? It's all these knockoffs he gets.
Don't leave that. I might have to pick you up for an Anfield game for once. You might want to leave that in my car.
No, I've left quite a few things in your car in the past. No, I'm not leaving it. By all means, keep, man.
I mean, when you drop him off, the key is to grab something. Is when he rings you within 5 minutes, you look back and you just don't answer his phone. Well, it's got like it looks like it's a nice suede one.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, TK. Let's talk about feelings, Tom. We'll start with the Jota news. We probably knew exactly what's going to happen, but we managed to create a thumbnail and a clickbait headline tonight for the show. But there's no surprise there. He just can't stay fit. I read 75 games he's missed for Liverpool in the last 4 or 5 years since he's come from Wolves. But it's annoying. He's injured again. And the annoying thing is we were talking about in the backstage for a bit that Slot doesn't even tell you really what it is. Apart from we've got a new word today. Normally the tacticals talk about overloads, but we've got an overloaded muscle in the case of Diogo Jota.
It's funny how we've seen a massively improved injury list this year. So many players are playing lots of games, lots of minutes. The recovery's clearly going fantastic with 99% of the team except for Diogo Jota. I don't know why he's immune to the magic of Ruben Peters. I do think that this is his last season at the football club because of these injuries and his contract situation. But I think the most annoying thing about Diogo Jota is it always comes after he shows you what he can do. He turns up big time in that Nottingham Forest game, gets the equaliser. Probably the best attacker on the day, all things considered. And then we lose him for about 3 weeks now. So then again, it's going to be a case of we'll be in late February when he's back. And who's not to say he won't get injured again when he returns, it's this stupid, horrendous cycle with him of constant injuries and injuries and injuries, and it's frustrating because he does add so much to the attack, but what can you do? What can you? I hope that he comes back, does a little bit for us, and then moves on at the end of the season. We get a bit of money for him.
Gene, Tom says, I hope he gets fit, scores a few goals, and we move him on. That could be the case for 2-3 players, but we'll play Football Manager later on, as I promised. Diego Jota, Gene, we were talking about it for the last 3-4 weeks now. Has this Luis Diaz experiment, is it time to just ditch it? I know it's only been sort of taking place for the last 2-3 months, or maybe even less than that. It was the Leverkusen game, I think he played in the false nine position.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but whatever it was, people or fans wanted a stop to it, and it was time for Diego Jota to get a run in the team. He'd be coming on a couple of cameos. He scored obviously against Nottingham Forest, but the moment you thought now is your time to go and stake a claim, it's not even a stake a claim, because if he's fit and playing well, he plays. But the lad's body keeps letting him down.
The thing is, Asim, the last couple of injuries that he's had, they've always been impact injuries. So you struggle you can't get away with that. End of the day, if it's an impact injury, somebody's fallen on you or something like that, fair play. But this one is another muscle one, and I think this is the thing that's really getting to me now. Look, we know the quality's there. He is our best finisher. But if somebody keeps breaking down time and time again, and you mentioned the percentages in the games that he's missed out, you can't rely on somebody who's out for that long, especially in a number 9 position. He's your number 1-9. But obviously, I know Darwin came on, but we all know, Darwin's form, bar the game that's just gone, hasn't been great. You simply can't rely on Jota, and it's all the time he keeps breaking down, and it's a shame because he reminds me a bit of Daniel Sturridge. He's a brilliant striker, but he simply can't stay fit. And if he can't stay fit, what good are you to this Liverpool team? And I agree with Tom. I think this is probably the writings on the wall. I gave Avi a load of shit it was at the start of last season when he suggested that we should get rid of Jota. Since then and now, has there really been any improvement? No. So his take back then, it didn't make sense back then, but it makes complete sense now. Maybe we should have cashed in on him on that summer. But look, there has to be a time where you think, you know what, maybe a couple of years left on his contract. Is it the time to cash in? Probably is. But like you said, we're playing Football Manager later on today, so it looks like half of our bloody forward line is going to be out through the door if you go by what we're talking about, Asim.
Well, Avi, if you're the buyer, are you going to put 40-50 million down for a player that misses 2-3 months a season? He's got 2 years left on the contract. How old is he, Tom? 28?
28 now. He's going to be 29.
Yeah, he turns 29 next season.
Yeah. So who's going to give us 40-50 million pounds, Avi?
No, you probably won't get 50 million. Look, I've been saying it for the last 18 months. He's a brilliant player, and I see Tom's got a number 9 shirt. I believe that's probably Fowler at the back of on the name.
Yeah.
He reminds me of probably Fowler with his finishing. Left foot, right foot. He can score with his head, as we saw against Forest, but he's just not going to stay fit, Asim, and it's been like this since he joined us, to be honest. That first season when he gets 13 and 30, and then he was injured in that season. He's been injured in every season, and it's usually at the back end of the season where we need him to stay fit, because believe you me, in the 2 campaigns where we ran City close on the last day, Jota probably wins us the league if he stayed fit before that. If he gave us 10-15 games before that, he wins us the league. Him or Thiago in the 21-22 season. If Thiago's fit throughout the season, so it's fine details, but it's fine details that cost us. In the summer, we'll definitely be looking for offers. I think 35-40 million region. And I still think that's good money. He's been a good servant, but he's missed 89 games. At 34 point, whatever that person put.
Can you see a scenario, Avi, where if you're Liverpool, if you're struggling, I agree, and I think there's a general consensus in the panel tonight. If we get a reasonable offer that we think suits us, we sell just because of his record. There's no point being a good player if you're not making yourself available for the team. But if there isn't a reasonable offer and they're just taking a mick all summer, do Liverpool have to change expectation or stance then? Where you think, okay, he's got 2 years left on a contract, will you still bring a number 9? We all think, I think Darwin Núñez leaves in the summer. You bring in a number 9 who plays every week, and then you use Diogo
No,
Jota.
I think he occupies someone else's space. I think Jaden Dance has a big play next season.
Wow.
Whether he gets a loan now till the summer, I think next season he's in and around the squad. I don't think we're sending him out on loan next season. So
But
no, I think
Jaden Dance as a second striker.
you cut ties with Jota regardless. No, Dance will be our number 9. If Núñez goes, we'll definitely get someone else in. But Jota, you've got to cut your ties at this point. Look, we've been here before. We've been on the same rodeo before with Naby Keita, with Oxlade-Chamberlain. You know, season after season, they still broke down. I mean, I know Ox had a serious injury, but with Naby, there's a lot more loyalty that Klopp sort of stuck by him. You know, so this game isn't for loyalty and sentiment values. And I think Michael Edwards this summer and whoever's in charge, Richard Hughes, Julian Ward, whoever's coming in and sorting out our playing squad in the summer, I think there'll be ruthless decisions made.
Tom, personally, I can't see, because we've got a lot of contracts to sort out. We've got a lot of other areas to sort out. I can't see Liverpool getting rid of Núñez, Jota, and potentially Luis Diaz in the summer.
The contracts are why I think you could see that just get rid of them, because both Jota and Diaz go into the last 2 years in the summer. So this is really your last chance to get decent value before you start entering the whole contract debacle situation. And if you go look at the contracts that we've got to sign by 2027, it's about 3/4 of the squad. There's so many players who need to be renewed. So we've put ourselves in this position where you're going to have to do both. I know the football club doesn't like to do both at the same time, but you're going to have to do both at the same time. You have to buy and you're going to have to renew. Big decisions have to be made, and that's why I think that there'll be a willingness to maybe let go of some players who might have performed well this season, but are, getting on in age, do have, injury problems. We might move them on because of the contract situation and look to bring in the real phase 1 of Arne Slot, because this is still a Jurgen Klopp team. Barchiesa, who played his second Premier League game against Brentford, this is a Jurgen Klopp team. Arne Slot hasn't even put his stamp on this team yet. His tactics are there, but he's not being able to influence the squad building side of it. That's why I think that a lot is going to line up with this summer coming up being a pretty busy one. And I do think that, look, if there's not much interest in Jota, I wouldn't be shocked if he stayed. He's probably the one that's going to have the least amount of interest in the summer. Just because of the injuries and stuff, and I wouldn't be shocked if he stayed and just played, a bit part role, because he can play across all 3 positions. He can play off the right or the left or up top. He's a useful squad option to have. But we can't have Diogo Jota staying, either block the pathway or be used as an excuse to not buy. We do need to prepare for life after Diogo Jota, or life whilst having Diogo Jota, because he's not here half the time. So
I think that, and just coming on that, I think there will be a lot of interest though. Look, he's a goal scorer at the end of the day. And sometimes subconsciously it works that he goes to another team and he stays fit. I mean, that's happened before. Sometimes a player it just hasn't worked out for them, one reason or another. But I know his is more sort of muscular injuries, which just get worse and worse as a player ages. But there'll definitely be interest in Diogo Jota. I think there'll be plenty of interest.
It's a shame when he gets injured, because, as you said, he's in my, in this team, in my opinion, he's the best finisher we've had. He's the best finisher we've had under Jurgen Klopp. And the only guy who really came close was Origi. Those two were the most natural finishers. And Jota, left foot, right foot, header, anywhere in the 18-yard box, I back him. But there's no point in backing him if he's never fit. There's no point in backing him if, when we've got the big games, I can't rely on him. And I've got to play Diaz false 9. I've got to play Núñez. I've got to try and find another solution, because my first choice guy is once again injured. So I think that, I mean, I said it off stream. I think that this season or this summer there's going to be a big overhaul in the attack. I really do. I think that even though we've got a number of good options there, I wouldn't be shocked if 3 left.
Okay. From the attack to the defense, Mr. Ibrahima Konate was in the press room today, Gene, as vibrant as ever. He had the whole press room laughing and joking and smiling, just the way he is. What a man, what a footballer. and a few things came out of that. Obviously, we'll just touch on his injury situation as well. Are you concerned that he's been playing through pain? I think one of the journalists asked him that we don't see this as normal, but what's the sort of general method in the squad? Is it a normal thing to do? And he said, look, I'm just playing for Liverpool. I would die for this team. I think many players do play through niggles, but are you concerned? Because there was a game, I think the Tottenham game, where he didn't even really, that was not Ibu Konate, the way he got bullied off the ball. And obviously something has been troubling him. But are you concerned is it a risk him playing? He came off against Nottingham Forest, especially with his body. We discussed it last week. Do you think there's a big risk of him breaking down? Because let's be honest, in the ideal situation, Gomez gets games. If Kwanzaa is trusted, he gets games as well. Is this the only reason why he's doing more minutes and not really fully recovered?
I find it baffling that first and foremost, we of course look. There's an injury to Gomez, and Kwanzaa hasn't really been starting. When you've got a player of Ibu's ilk who has injury issues, and you know that he's had injury issues since he's come, we have to try and protect him, and especially because he's that good of a player. Him injured, and we're really struggling. And for any team to be playing a 70% fit player through a difficult period, you're basically asking for it. We're in a transfer window. There should have been some sort of movement. You can't rely on a 70% Ibu. What if he picks up an injury in tomorrow's game and he starts? We're going to be flipping going absolute nuts. Or why did you start him? Liverpool fans will be in an uproar. Why did you start him? All that type of stuff. Look, it's a risk. I don't really want to take. I hope he doesn't play tomorrow. I want him fit for the weekend. It's an easier game. It's a home game against Ipswich. He'll get a bit more rest, a bit more recovery. And him saying he was 70% fit from his Instagram post proves that the guy is not fully fit. Look, Asim, we know that there's a position there that needs filling, and we've known for a while that there's a centre back stroke left back, left-footed player position that needs filling, and it needed filling for a little while. We haven't been in the transfer market for a centre back for a numerous number of years. Yes, Endo's came in a couple of times this season doing a stellar job, but there has to be quality there, and I'm slightly worried with the. I just don't want him breaking down. Honestly, I'm just praying that he can get through the next 16, 17 league games, because this player, he's the difference between us winning 1 trophy and 3 trophies, because he's that good of a player. And when he's on song, there's not many teams in world football that have a centre-back pairing of Van Dijk. There's no team in world football that has a centre-back pairing like Van Dijk and Konate. But we'll have to wait and see what happens. But it is a risk that right now we're taking.
Why are we worried, man? He's a big lad. Big lads play through injections. Big lads play through pain. And it is what it is. Many footballers across many generations have played through pain. Why are we worried?
No, I think there's every reason to be worried. We mentioned it yesterday as well. Look, I'm worried about Ibu because, look, he's another one that picks up injuries as well. And just his physical build, because he's such a big lad, I think this is going to be an reoccurring theme. I know this one was a bit, again, it was inflicted by that little shit of Madrid, Hendrik, but I just think that he's going to pull up here and there as well, Asim. So, I think he's a fantastic defender. We said it yesterday that he's world class when he's fully fit and he gives us like games week in, week out. But he's another one that you've got to watch a close eye on, because going to the future, going to next season, can he give us a 38 league game season? I don't think he can. I think it would be good. I think it would be brilliant if you can get 30 games out of him in the season, in the league. That is because the last thing you need at centre back is disruption. And we've had it in the last 18 months, Clark, whether it was Clark or Wanderslaw, he's actually utilised Matip, Gomez, and then Kwanzaa came through, a little bit fast-track last season. And we're seeing that now. That's why Salah, at the moment, is not having full trust in him. He's a lad that should be on loan. Because at 21, you don't make it as a defender at 21. It takes a few years. But look, that's the situation that we find ourselves in. And it's definitely a position in the summer that we need to address.
Tom, it's another area. How many areas are we going to address?
This is what happens when you don't address any for a couple of windows. Exactly. They don't just go away. They do remain. And then you just end up with one window coming where you need to address 7 different areas, and you have to. Otherwise, you don't have a squad. Look, I I like Jarell Quanta. I think you don't play the way he did last year. You don't perform in the games he did last year without having a bit of quality. His confidence is just shot at the minute, which happens for a young defender. I don't agree with the notion that you got to sell him or this, that, and the other. I do think that he's got a future at the football club.
But do you think Slot trusts him? That's the main thing, isn't it, Tom?
I think that Slot has probably got a different view on the matter after Brentford. I think that Brentford is a bit of a turning point for him in terms of his depth, because that was when the depth showed it can be relied on. And obviously Jarell Quanta wasn't one of those ones, but I'd like to think that starts to carry through to the squad, where he starts looking at the other backups and going, well, if they can help me out in this game and get me 3 points there where the starters weren't going to do it, maybe the others can do it there. So maybe I'm not against a loan necessarily. I do think maybe Quanta could benefit from a loan, a year-long loan, but we need to do that with options available. And for me, with the uncertainty I've got around Joe Gomez's future, I can't sanction anything yet.
So Tom's selling them all in the summer.
No, I'd love to keep Gomez, but he's one of the ones who I think will want to go. I mean, how old is he going to be? 28, you know, and he's not before Konate got injured, he hadn't started the game. So it's stuff like that which I think will play a part. But the Konate stuff is a bit of a worry, especially without Gomez. But if it came down to it, I'd trust Quanta for 2-3 weeks alongside Van Dijk. I'd trust most people alongside Van Dijk. I'd trust myself alongside Van Dijk. Could probably make me look like a decent centre back. You know, he's that good. I could probably put in a 6 out of 10 alongside him just because of the way he is. So if it came down to it, I think we'd be all right. But you know, it's going to sound stupid because I know we can get injured, but I quite like to see the fact that Konate's playing through the pain, because we've had too many injury-prone players who feel something and then just refuse to play. I like the ones who go, all right, it's not 100%, but I can play through it, because if it doesn't get worse, it'll get better. You know, we have a top medical team. They can manage these sort of things. They're not going to make you play. They're not going to say you're available to play if you're not available to play. If it's a real problem. So I like to see it. You know, Keita was one of them who, whenever he felt anything, wouldn't play. Sturridge was another one who, whenever he felt anything, wouldn't play. And it can impact the team. So I like the fact Konate's putting the team first here. But I hope we are looking out for him in the long term as well, and making sure that we're not rushing him back, and making sure that we're taking all the proper precautions with it.
Just on that.
I think that's a great point. But by the time there are players out there that will push through and have that threshold to play. Sturridge actually admitted it a couple of seasons back. I think he was in Turkey on the spell. He said, "Look, there's times that I could have played for Liverpool, but I wasn't 90%. I was probably 70, 80. Could have given Klopp like 70-minute run out, or Brendan Rodgers a 60, 70-minute run out. Yeah, but he said I just didn't trust my body." Naby felt the same. You know, unless he was not 90% or 100%, you know, they didn't want to like go through that threshold. So no, I totally agree. I think that's a great point. There are players out there
in his book, you know, because Suarez and Sturridge were the antithesis of each other. If Sturridge was 90%, he wouldn't play. Suarez would play at 20%. Suarez was wearing boots 2 sizes too big and getting painkiller injections. Daniel Sturridge would feel a little bit dodgy on a walk and say, "Oh, I've got a little bit of muscle tightness," and then refuse to play. And it took Gerrard walking around with him for 15 minutes, telling him that we need you to play, to get him to play. So it's stuff like that, which, look, if you're not right, you're not right. But I do like to see it when players put the team first and go, "No, I can power through. I'll do what it takes to make sure that I can help the team out here," because we're a better team when Konate plays, even if he is at 70, 80%.
Well, Tom, I think you're right. You know, there was a point where Klopp just gave up with Sturridge. But when you saw Sturridge, he couldn't never mind running from a standing position. His whole shooting technique went. He couldn't even shoot. There was no power on his shots. Honestly,
it was that West Brom one. I can't remember. He went on loan to West Brom because he was still all right. Like he was getting injured, but he still had everything that made Daniel Sturridge up until that loan to West Brom. And he played one game against Chelsea, and he done his hip. I think it was his hip or his hamstring. It was something round the side of your leg area, And then when he came back, he had no pace.
Yeah.
When he came back, he wasn't exactly the most sort of energetic presser, but when he came back, it was even worse. And I think that was because he only had a year left on his deal at that point. You know, he gave us some decent moments in that last year. You know, the header against PSG, the goal against Chelsea, but you could see that the manager didn't trust him, didn't rely on him the same way. So it's a weird one because we're never going to be privy to all this stuff, but I do like it when players come out and say, look, I'm not 100%, but the team comes first. And if I can help the team out, I will do.
Just on Kwanzaa, you said that the last couple of games, especially Brentford, made you feel that Slot has got a renewed hope in the depth of the squad. What makes you think he suddenly believes in Jarell Kwanzaa? Just because Harvey Elliott got some minutes, or just Chiesa got a couple of minutes, or Dan's got a couple of minutes? Don't you think in the attacking area where you can protect a player a little more and create a bit of an environment for them to express themselves, but in the defensive line or the keeper between the sticks, if they make a mistake, is a goal, Tom?
I think it comes down to the fact that you look at Kwanzaa is not. When I say he might trust Kwanzaa more, I'm not saying he's going to trust Kwanzaa more because of stuff Kwanzaa's done. I'm saying it's because in the past month, the guys that have stepped up for us big time have been the guys that have been riding the bench, have been the guys who haven't really had their opportunities, have been the guys who have been called upon and stepped up. You know, Endo came on against Tottenham at centre back and was fine, was solid, didn't let anything past him, dealt with Solanke brilliantly. And then, ironically, when he goes out to centre-back, we concede. As you move further forward, obviously, you've got the guys against Brentford who, you know, Elliott, Nunes, Chiesa, who all came on, had a positive impact there. I think that we hadn't had that from a backup option this season. We hadn't needed to have it from a backup option this season, but we hadn't had it anyway from a backup option. We hadn't had someone come off the bench and really take the game by the scruff of the neck. And even Forest, Simicast and Jota come off the bench and step up forward as big time. So I think that you look at all that together, I think that Slot is almost, I'm hoping anyway, it's more hope than knowing, but I'm hoping that Slot will look at that and go, ooh, maybe I can rely on them to step up in moments. Not, you know, I'm not saying, right, I want to see Endo centre-back against City, but we've got Lille tomorrow. Maybe you can give Endo a start there, and you can rest Gravenberch because you know that the guys who are performing off the bench, you can trust them for a certain amount of time, you know, starting. So that's what I hope anyway, because we are going to need to rest and rotate. You know, we're not going to have many opportunities to do it throughout the rest of the season, especially if we want to win all 4 competitions.
Okay. Chin, Avi, you want to add something on Kwanzaa before we move on?
I think for a young defender, it's imperative that he gets games week in, week out. Look, I highly rate Joel Kwanzaa as a next season. I think we will be on the lookout for a centre back, and I don't think Kwanzaa will get the ample game time at this football club, next season. So he's one that I would definitely send out on loan because look, Van Dijk will be 34, right, going into next season. These providing that he signs a contract. You got Konate there. You presume that we will sign a centre back or two, depending on the Gomez situation. Kwanzaa can't be a bit part player where he plays every 2-3 weeks or plays every cup game or gets 10 minutes here off the bench. That's not going to do anything for his development, especially at 21. He needs to go out on loan to a Premier League team. I think someone mentioned Palace. I think Palace would be a good team for him. Or anyone like lower, in the bottom half of the table, like bottom 10, where he gets game in, game out, week in, week out. And that's when you can make a real assessment of where he is. Because right now, he's wanting to make an impression at every opportunity. And he also comes across a little bit like he's too assured of himself when he shouldn't be like that. You know, he has this sort of relaxed style, a bit like BBD, but he's not anywhere near there yet. He needs to go out on loan where he's getting there's ferocious tackles going on. There's the opposition is pounding the final third in his box, and he's just defending. That's what he needs to do. So for me, it would be a 1-year loan out next summer for Joel Kwanzaa.
Tom, make an assessment of Kwanzaa in the summer. What sort of assessment did you make of Curtis Jones' interview? Did you find the time to watch it?
I
because he
did.
got a lot of stick on social media today. I think he ended up blocking a few people on Instagram, or did he block his comments option on there? I don't know. But he did something, and he took a barrage of abuse today. What do you make of it all?
People don't like Curtis Jones, so whenever he says anything, regardless of if it's good or bad, they'll just pound him for it. I got so much sympathy for the lad. I remember in the summer when he said that he likes playing the slot system more than the Klopp system, and people seen that as him slagging off Jurgen Klopp, when in reality it wasn't. But because it was Curtis Jones that said it, it must be that. So he didn't say anything wrong, because everyone's looking at the post that he put out afterwards saying the one I'd rather play with. He said that in the interview, but the people who posted the clip on social media have cut that out just to try and stitch him up. Look, it's a funny little ha-ha, for fuck's sake, as well. What? Come on, we're trying to win this little argument here. Don't do that. But people are blowing it way out of proportion. All he said was he thinks Hazard's a better footballer than Mohamed Salah, an opinion which a lot of people share. Do I agree? No. But does that mean I'm then going to, slag him off for it? No. Because straight afterwards, he says, the guy I'd rather have in my team is Salah, because he steps up in the big moments. That's what it's about. And, I mean, the rest of the interview I thought was quite interesting. The one part which, not necessarily on him, on Ferdinand, was the part where they were going on about the other stat up, which is like how well he gets out of pressures and how well he manages like pressures in certain areas. And then Ferdinand was making a big point of how, it's only like centre backs who have most of the time on the ball there and stuff. And I looked at that and went, yeah, that's not a good thing. Considering the positions Curtis Jones is playing, I need him to take more risks. I need him to, be quicker, be more decisive with it. If he was playing in that 6 role, I think those numbers would look really good. But the fact that we've been playing him as a 10, you've seen it in games recently. I think just before the United game was probably where people started to see it. We're having the same problems with Curtis Jones, where he just holds on to it for too long.
But Tom, he had his chance in the summer. He had the first chance, and I believe the reason why he wasn't playing 6 after the few games that he got after pre-season is because he didn't convince Arne Slot in that role.
I don't disagree.
Sorry?
I don't disagree, but I do also think that a player like Curtis Jones is going to need more than 2 pre-season games to figure that out.
But sometimes you have to grasp the opportunity. Ryan Gravenberch did.
Ryan Gravenberch was fantastic, and Ryan Gravenberch grasped the opportunity. Not everyone's Ryan Gravenberch. Not every footballer is a Ryan Gravenberch.
The thing the critical thing here in the playing in the 6 for Arne Slot is he needs to make he can be industrious. He can carry a ball. We hogs onto it even in a 10 position, in an 8 position, and a 6 position. And the critical option is he can't drop a shoulder as Ryan Gravenberch. Ryan Gravenberch hasn't got the progressive passing as McAllister. Well, McAllister is a better progressive passer than Curtis. Hence why you see Curtis in the 10 and McAllister being the situational pivot.
But I think Curtis Jones is a good mix of both. I think Curtis Jones is a decent mix of. He's not as good out of a 10 as Gravenberch.
Yeah,
but he's better out of a 10 than McAllister. He's not as good at the progressive passing as McAllister, but he's better at it than Gravenberch. Curtis Jones' problem is there. I think that if you get the right midfielder in the summer and you have 4 top quality pivot options in McAllister, Gravenberch, the new signing in Curtis Jones, you can find a way to make Curtis Jones work there. I just think that you look at him in the 10 and it's not the game. It's not the game for him. I don't think he's got the makings to be a 10 in the Premier League, because I think that he wants to be on the ball too long. The days of the number 10 being the guy who is the creative hub and everything runs to him are gone, especially in this Liverpool team where all the creativity is out wide. The number 10 is a facilitator now. Curtis Jones can't facilitate in the 10. He has to do it from deeper and give the ball elsewhere and cover for others. I just think that there needs to be at least an opportunity with him where he gets a little chance in the pivot. I don't think him and Gravenberch work well together. I don't think him and McAllister work well together, purely because Curtis Jones doesn't understand how to defensively position himself in the pivot. Curtis Jones likes to jump a bit too much into a press. He's a little bit too over eager to close someone down, and then that opens up gaps in behind where the other one has to cover, which isn't their game, which is why I'm saying if you go out in the summer and you get a more defensive-minded midfielder, someone who starts quite on the ball, a name I like, if he can stay fit, if he can guarantee his fitness, is Kamara from Villa. If you had the Kamara from Villa, I think then you could put Curtis Jones in a pivot and start to see the real strengths of him be amplified and the weaknesses be hidden, because him taking too long to pass the ball isn't necessarily as big of a problem in a pivot as it is in 10, where everything's 100 miles an hour, and if you don't play that pass, the attack could die. If you do it from deeper, it's all about recycling. So I don't know why people are getting onto him. I know why people are getting onto him. It's because it's Curtis Jones and people hate Curtis Jones for some reason. But I don't think he done much wrong staying in that interview.
Gene, I think, is he a victim of being too honest? Sometimes the Klopp interview Tom mentioned.
Asim, there's certain things that I probably believe that I probably won't say on camera, especially if it's something against my own team, my own player. Somebody mentions he needs to be media trained. 100% he needs to be media trained. You just have to be very clever. He took the bait, Asim. That's what it was. He took the bait. They pressed his buttons and he fell for it. And it happens because they wanted a reaction and they got it. They got the headline. And hence why you saw the clip that them guys put up. But look, I'm not too worried about it. Tom mentioned sorry, 1 second. Yeah, sorry, it's the little one. She can't sleep. Yeah. Now you know why I was late for the first 10 minutes, Asim. Right? And honestly, look, I love Curtis Jones, but I want to go back onto Tom's. You guys were speaking about where he should play, where he should play, how he should play. If we bring in a proper number 6, he'd thrive. I think. Look, if we bring in a proper number 6, I think Maka will thrive a lot more than Curtis Jones. Curtis Jones, in any position that he's played, he's hogged onto the ball way too long. Regardless, he's playing 8, 6, 10, 12, 11. Doesn't matter where he plays. He has had this problem from day one, and we've called it out all the time. I love Curtis Jones as a player, and I think he's had a fantastic season this season. There's been times when, obviously, he's had a few bad games, but generally speaking, he's turned up and he's had good games. And yes, every player kind of go through a bit of bad form, but this hogging onto the ball, Asim, it's nothing new. If this guy doesn't, and I'm sure that the coaching staff and everybody else have told him don't do it, yet he still carries on doing it. I don't know whether it's arrogance, and I know what's his name, Carragher went for him the other day, saying that this is now become arrogance, and I don't want to see that type of arrogance in a player because that can lead to goals. In the past, he says that he's done that in the past, and it's led to a couple of goals where we've struggled, and he simply needs to improve that. But look, in terms of his attacking play, Asim, I'll be honest with you, I've not really seen him do it. Going to be all, yes, he's good at rotational play, keeping it ticking, keeping it going. What exactly have we seen from Curtis Jones in an attacking threat? What really have we seen? Even last season there was times where I saw him. He made that final run into the box where he did get into the end of something. I've not seen that.
What I would say is,
Asim, hold on, yeah. He had a great start to the season. We saw him put a clinic on against Real Madrid, Curtis Jones. He's been involved in big games. This last sort of month or so when he's hogging onto the ball, fair enough. Yeah, he's had a dip in form. Every player goes through it. Szoboszlai went through it at the beginning of the season and at the back end of last season as well. Well, last 6 months of last season as well. This happens. Yes, the one thing that he needs to improve on big time is up here. His intelligence on the ball and when to release and when not to release. He is a very good football player. As in whether it's in the left center midfield, whether it's in the 10, or I think he can work in a pivot. And yes, going off by the preseason, that's not a good sample size either. Preseason is they're relaxed friendlies, they're training ground sessions. You can't
because
unless he's put in that position, Asim, in a big game, yeah, you can't say from preseason Slot didn't fancy him. I think Slot rates Curtis Jones, but yes, that decision making is one of his facets that he needs to improve on. But this season, if you're saying what's he done this season, he's played brilliantly at the beginning of the season. He had some big games where Slot did trust him as well. Not just trusted him, but trusted him and said, go on, look what he did against Real Madrid. He's arguably one of our best players of the night.
I'd say he's probably been his most influential in Liverpool's shirt this season. I mean, Chelsea game, he wins the penalty, scores the goal, could have won another penalty. Newcastle scores the goal, Brighton comes off the bench, gets an assist. West Ham gets an assist and is an all-round threat of that game, forces a couple of good saves. Bayer Leverkusen, that was the one where he played that wonderful through ball for Diaz, who chipped him. You know, I think he's got 7 goal contributions this season so far in midfield, which is the most out of anyone in the team. I don't think Sabastar's got more, so I think it's the most out of any midfielder in the team this season for goal contributions. The problem with Curtis Jones has been and still is the consistency side of it. He will give you a really good 2 months, and then it'll go, and he'll need a month or 2 to get it back. He'll need a bit of time out the team to get it back,
and then he get injured.
Yeah, whether he's injured or he loses form or he loses confidence or whatever, it always is the case where you can't get more than 2 months out of Curtis Jones at a time, and then you almost need to disappear for a month and come back with a decent performance against someone, and then you get it back again. Once we can skip past that month of, you know, lack of quality, lack of availability, whatever, and we can just combine everything together and get 3-4 months of really good performances week in, week out, that's when Curtis Jones will cement himself as the starter in this Liverpool team, because he's got the quality to do it. But the other players just have more consistency. The other players just are more reliable. Whereas Curtis Jones can give you an 8 or a 6. Well, it's more so an 8 or a 9 or a 4 or 5. McAllister, I don't think he's went below a 7 this season, while still giving you those 8-9s. Gravenberch hasn't went below an 8 this season. Szoboszlai, I know we get a lot of harsh critics. I don't think Szoboszlai's went below a 6 this season in terms of performances. I always think that off the ball, he's always giving you something. He's always an important part in the transition. So once Curtis can get that consistency back, or get that consistency figured out, should we say, I think that's when you'll see the final step he needs to take in this Liverpool team. But he's running out of time to figure that out. He's not the young lad that came through at 18 anymore. We can't just keep sort of ignoring it.
Yeah. I think in games, Avi, where we're struggling a bit, we need a few more legs. Where Newcastle, I think, did he start or come on? I can't remember, but he got the equaliser, didn't he? When he came on, Chelsea, he had a different type of role. He sat on Cole Palmer and absolutely did a job on him for 90 minutes. He's got that role, and I think as a profile of player and his best characteristics as a player are better suited from going from the left. You know, we wanted him to become from that number 11 to a genuine Wijnaldum type of player where you can circulate the ball and it's all about ball retention. And I think he's a better player coming from the left rather than that right. Tom touched on it. Our number 10 is a facilitator. You know, you're playing a balancing act between Trent and Salah, and nobody is better at that than Dominic Szoboszlai. But I think the evolution from Liverpool have been from a 2 in the midfield going onto a single pivot with the increase in trust in Ryan Gravenberch has meant the profiles of players needed for those roles where 1 sits and 2 go in the advanced 8/10 positions. You know, McAllister is simply better than Curtis Jones. Szoboszlai is a better number 10 in this Arnie slot than Curtis Jones. And Ryan Gravenberch is a better single pivot receiving from the 2 centre-backs than Curtis Jones. So I think it's about quality as well. He's a good player, but at the moment, there's 3 people that are better than him, and that's why he's probably not getting...
But he can still be effective in a title-winning squad. Let's not mistake that.
He can.
When nobody's doubting that,
No. If someone says name your 6 midfielders, he'd definitely be up there.
100%.
Idiots and other players that I don't want to mention, but like he's definitely... I'll go and say he's still a pivotal member of that midfield 6. So look, Slot's shown as well this season that he trusts him in the biggest games, and he has played him in the biggest games this season. And you know what? Klopp was a big fan as well. One thing that he missed out on was his injuries. You know, his injuries didn't help. And just up there, like Tom said, it is all about that split second of making that decision. The great players know when to release the ball, will know when to, you know, put that through ball in, or just know how to dictate a game. It will come for him. He's still 24. That's still young for a midfielder.
Okay. I don't know who started this comment, but do you want to put it up, Avi?
So the Disha one, yeah, I'll put up. I think it's to do with the interview that he had. She goes, and thanks for tuning in. It's been a long time since you've been tuning in our channel, but thanks to the Disha. People pressed about what Curtis said, need to get a life. If you can't bear footballers speaking their minds unless you are in a complete agreement with them, then might as well not listen to interviews. And that's what I said. Look, we've had this argument with Sarib before on the show. Yeah. Would you pay to watch Hazard or would you pay for Salah? He used to say you would pay for Hazard. I will always say Hazard aesthetically was the better footballer. There's nothing wrong with what you say. Overall, who would I want in my first 11 would be Mohamed Salah all day long. You know, for me, he is one of the greatest players that have represented this football club. But the one that I like on the eye, it's Eden Hazard for me.
I know what you're saying, but I disagree. If it's my teammate, my leader, my best player, and you know about this online discussion about Hazard, what you said about aesthetics, a better footballer in terms of technical ability, just for the record, I think Hazard's a better technically gifted, not more natural on the ball.
But Asim, he said
let me finish. Better player, Mohamed Salah, twice the player. I'll
exactly.
go war.
But he said he has these discussions and arguments with Salah as well.
He did.
He said that. He made sure he said that. He made sure he slipped that in with Rio. He said,
I'm with Gene. I don't put that on camera, especially knowing the thing. He doesn't tweet about Salah if he didn't have that interview today. You know that.
Yeah, but that only happened because he got like loads of these hogwash fans going at him for no reason.
Why?
He didn't deserve the abuse. He didn't deserve the abuse.
He didn't need to do that. He said that in the interview. You'd rather play with Salah. But I look at Jose Mourinho. Didn't he know deep down he's tried to sign Stevie G a million times? Didn't he know Stevie G is a better player than Lampard? Well, he made Lampard believe behind the scenes and in front of the cameras that you're the best player in the world. You're the best.
I think inadvertently, Jose.
For me, when my player is going for the Ballon d'Or, I tell him you're the best player in the world. I don't give a shit. What are you talking about? Aesthetics, technical ability, stats, GA, whatever. My man is the best in the world.
He said I'd always
pick. That's my thing, and I call that loyalty as well to my teammate.
But if he has said he has these arguments and just debates with Salah in person, there's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with that at all. We do overreact as a fan base.
It's a matter of opinion.
We do overreact as a fan base.
Huh?
We do overreact as a fan base.
Sometimes I like that siege mentality amongst the squad. It brings trophies.
No, and that's anyway. Gary Neville used to say that as well. He says it on the overlap. If they didn't have that siege mentality, they wouldn't have won what they did under Fergie. So no, that's a good point as well.
I mean, I quite like the Arnie Slot quote, because the Arnie Slot quote from his side of the interview went under the radar entirely, where he basically said, "I don't make Trent Alexander-Arnold in the middle." Yeah. But everyone's glossed over that. But that's arguably worse than what Curtis Jones said. I don't rate Trent Alexander-Arnold when he has to play in the middle. He's better when he's a back. But everyone's glossed over that one, so we can focus on Curtis Jones saying that he prefers to watch Eden Hazard.
I'm actually not. Rio's not stupid either. He knew what he was doing. It's on YouTube. I'll send you the link. It's about 24 minutes long.
I saw the clip of Curtis saying that.
Rio tried to get Arnie Slot with, because he was asking about Gravenberch, and he tried to get Arnie Slot with the Zubimendi stuff. He was asking about, but you were after a DM, weren't you? And this, and Slot, Slot's a professional. He knows how to bat these questions off. But again, they're always fishing for something. I mean, it is what I don't think Curtis Jones said anything wrong. It's clear that him and Salah, this is something that they have a laugh and joke about. So we're not privy to all this stuff, are we?
Okay, that's fine. Song says Jones was talking about an idol growing up. It's not a big deal. Okay, maybe we spent too much time on it.
It's nice that we've got some FSG support in the house today. I'm not on my own today, so big up Jay. I'm liking the FSG comments in the.
You bloody went to town on them the last show, Avi, man. You bloody went to proper town on them.
I did, but listen, you've got to play the yak. You know my thoughts on John Henry. You know how much I love the ownership.
Go on, Avi. Avi went after FSG and is Christmas.
I said if we don't win the league,
you went off their Christmas card list.
If we don't win the league, then the knives will be out. But will the knives be out as such that I'm calling them out and they should be selling up? No, I'm not going to go there yet. I don't think I ever will. I think, summer's big. This summer will be very, very big, and they need to act big as well.
You've been saying the same shit. Summer's going to be big for the last 4 years, mate. Summer's going to be big. This player's coming, that player coming. Chankala happened, mate. Chankala, nothing happened. So don't come with this summer's going to be big, man. I've heard it too many times, mate.
We brought you Buongiorno, Chiesa. We brought you one of your favorite players. What are you complaining for?
Yeah, they bought him Chiesa. Yeah, they bought him 3 years too late, man. When I wanted him when he was 100 million, you didn't pay it then, did you? You realised, when he's been injured, 12 million, opportunistic. That was the word. But he's going to get his moment this year, man. Chiesa like Darwin. He's gonna get his moment.
You know what? The best part about the winning goal was just Kea's celebration.
I know, man. You could.
I don't get how his arms just are so straight when he celebrates.
I mentioned it about a month ago. I think we were chasing a game, but it might have been the Fulham game. And honestly, he was a bloody live wire on the bench. And he wasn't even playing. I don't think he wasn't in the squad that day. But I recorded him as well. You could tell the guy loves Liverpool Football Club. And there was rumors since day one that he's not happy and he can't settle and stuff like that. You know, he might not be fit, and he might not be fit to play 90 minutes, as Arnie mentioned in his presser today, for a long time. But the thing is, he really wants to get onto that pitch, and hopefully he gets fit and can handle the intensity to show us quality. Because even if he has a cameo for 5 minutes, you can tell, talking about technical ability and natural ability, he definitely has that. Has that.
You know, this could be third time lucky as well. I know we've had a few Italians in the past, but we all sort of took a liking to Aquilani because Alonso had left, and you know, this prince from Roma was coming, and they said that he was going to be better than De Rossi and Totti and whatnot. It didn't work out for him. Then we had Mario Balotelli, and we all, as a fan base, so badly wanted that to work as well because it was him, because he was the personality. It didn't work for him. So maybe it's third time lucky. And I know we've had the Barini.
Yeah, we've had the Barinis, the Sennas, and all sorts, man. Really, not one of them worked out.
Because I think he's come with the reputation, and because he has been a fantastic player pre-ACL, you just feel that the tide turns for him. And honestly, there's nothing more that if we can give him love like the way Chelsea loved Zola. That's what I want. I want an Italian that we can just take to from the off.
I think if Chiesa fails, I think we just need to have a new version of Balotelli's shirt. Why always us?
Right.
If Chiesa doesn't work out, I just think we don't ever shop Italian ever again. You might like your pasta, you might like whatever, but we Italians in Liverpool might not work out. I mean, our most successful key is probably Desena, purely because he had a week where he scored against Madrid and United. Outside of that, it was nothing. I mean, I don't think that probably the player who had the most success, Italian anyway, who had the most success outside Liverpool, wasn't even Italian when we bought them in Gabriel Paletta.
Yeah. Okay, sticking with Europe, let's spend about 5 to 7 minutes on the team tomorrow. Are we going strong? Are we making changes? Or is it going to be a bit of both, lads?
I'll make the changes tomorrow. You still kind of need a win. If you win, you finish top 2, and that means you get like the best draw because you're playing teams who are middle of the pack. So you still want to win, but you got 2 games that you got Lille at home, you've got PSV away. I think you rotate tomorrow, and if they pull it off at home, they pull it off at home. If not, you go away to PSV and you box it off away at PSV. But we do need to start rotating some of these players. We need to start resting some of these players. And it's always easier to rotate at Anfield than it is away from home. So I'd be looking at, Konate getting a start. I'd be looking at Bradley getting a start. Robertson can probably start this one. I still don't know what his situation is at left back, who he prefers as his first choice. But, whoever he thinks is the backup can start there. I'd start one of Endo or Morton in DM. Jones.
Who are you starting in centre back? Endo and who?
Centre back would be Van Dijk and Konate. And then Morton or Endo in DM, Jones and Elliott in the midfield. Casey obviously can't really start a game, so that does put a bit of a spanner in the works. Salah's probably going to start then on the right, and then you can go with Diaz and Nunes, or I hope Diaz goes on the left if he's going to play tomorrow. I think Nunes is probably one to the start now. But I think you'd see a bit of rotation tomorrow. I think tomorrow's the game where you can do it.
Gene, I think Van Dijk plays with Ibu tomorrow.
That's because you've got given the team.
Don't expose him now. Don't expose him on this channel now.
If I did, I'd
listen
now.
to me. Nobody comes out with that without having the team. Put it that way. Nobody comes out with that.
Who do you think is flipping slots ringing me right now and telling me who starts?
Who says Ibu, Konate and Van Dijk are going to start tomorrow? I don't think anybody in the whole chat will tell you that.
I think Liverpool go strong tomorrow.
Oh, yeah, please, man. I don't want to see. Listen, I don't want to see Konate. I don't want to see Gravenberch. They're the two players I do not want to see on that pitch tomorrow. Anybody else can start. Them two, I just don't want to see on the pitch. You can start
I
Salah.
agree with
I
you.
don't
I agree
mind.
with you.
Them, they're the only two that I really don't want to start. But yes, even with Trent, I agree with Tom. Give Bradley a start. Left back, I'm not really too fussed. But the two centre backs you're talking about, Asim, I'd rather play Yarad. Come on, you can't play them two, man. You're asking for trouble, bro. And this is my biggest issue. There was a time in the Champions League where it was a dead rubber against that shitty team, and Diego Jota got injured.
Midtjylland.
Midtjylland. No need to bring him on. Right? We made the biggest mistake, and it cost us. So why are you doing that? Why are you asking for it yourselves for no reason? There's
He's
no
spoken into
reason for
existence now,
these
the
to
idiot.
start.
That's what he's done, Asim.
Huh?
Eh?
I said, Asim's spoken it into existence now. That'll probably happen.
Yeah, honestly, it's for me, that's madness. Honestly, lot, you better not start Konate, wherever the F you are, mate. I do not want to see Konate on that starting lineup tomorrow.
Let him heal up.
And if he gets, God forbid he gets injured, bro, I will curse Slot. And I'm
Play him
being
against
honest,
Ipswich
because you're
and go
flipping.
with Kwanzaa.
That's just plain stupidity, man.
Go with Kwanzaa and Van Dijk tomorrow. It'll be telling if he does go with his best pairing tomorrow. It will show me that that trust of that trust in Kwanzaa. It's not as we all believe that he's that we saw the Ipswich game at the beginning of the season that he still has issues with Kwanzaa. I mean, this is a perfect game where you rotate a little bit. You bring on the Bradley. You stick with Simicast. Now you stick with Keller if you want in goal. You play with Van Dijk. You play with he
Who
plays
do you
the
play at
game
right back,
very
Abby?
reactive. And right back, Bradley. I'll play Bradley. I mean, it'll be good to see Jonathan David as well. He's on a freebie in the summer. Lots of people like him. He's not.
He doesn't like us though, so don't worry.
Yeah, he said that comment ages ago. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing Ayub Bouhaddi though of Lille. Hopefully, get some minutes tomorrow. He's a top player, and then I believe that top clubs are training, watching, scouting.
Okay, we leave it there with the team news. Let's go on to Football Manager because Avi's got his haircut booked. Maybe that's the reason why he's wearing a cap. Football Manager, 3 in, 3 out for the summer, and the chat can get involved. But before you do, please smash a like. How many likes are we on, Chin? Tell me. Are we on?
It's going to take fucking 10 years to find out as well. Well, I don't know why he's in charge of all the tech stuff. Him of all people doesn't arrive on time, doesn't want to host a show, and yet we got him.
111, I say 111.
Come on, that needs to be before we play Football Manager. Needs to be at least 150. Zahid says 112. Okay, come on. There's over 300 people here. We need to get up to at least 200 by the time we leave the stream. Who wants to go first? 3 in, 3 out. Chin, do you have yours?
Let the IT key
No,
go
let
first
Chin
because
go first.
he knows about the deals. He knows about who's coming in. Everybody knows. He knows.
Okay.
Yeah,
What we'll do
that's
is we'll go around the
bastard.
table. We'll go around the table. Give me one each. I think that's fair.
All right.
I'll
I'll
go first.
What position?
I'll
Are we
start.
going to go position or what we think is going to happen?
Whatever.
I'll go
Okay,
first.
No, I'll go first.
Well, everybody wants to go first now.
No, I'll go first. I think I
But
deserve
then,
it.
but then it's going to be 4 in, 4 out because there's 4 of us.
No, but we only get 3 options. 4 of us are going to go, but we only get 3 options.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, I'll go first. I think Darwin Núñez will leave.
Oof.
And I think Liverpool will go for.
Oh, he's going to say that fucking etiquette.
No. I think
You
Liverpool
feel
will. I think Liverpool really like this player. I'm monitoring him, considering him. João Pedro from Brighton.
I refuse. We're not going to buy from Brighton, surely.
I like the shout. I can't see it either, Tom. That's why I've ruled out Belabor.
Okay.
If we go and talk to Brighton,
I think
for
he's
Pedro,
a
then that's
player.
100 mil plus.
I think he's a player who can do a bit of both. From the Arnie slot number 9, he maybe likes a 9.5. I think João Pedro is a 9.5.
I like the way you're going with it. I like domestic recruitment. I think it's the way we need to go, but I don't think we shop at Brighton. And then after McAllister.
Okay. I'll go down from myself. Tom? You're getting
I'm not going to say Núñez because you said Núñez. I think...
Look at Avi searching YouTube, flipping videos for the
My
name.
My phone's here today.
Hey.
Ultimately, I think Diaz is going to go this summer.
Ooh. Has Anthony Gordon signed a new contract yet?
Yeah, I don't think we go for Anthony Gordon now. I think Gordon was one of them opportunistic ones which you're not going to buy normally. And I think Liverpool should look at. I've got three. I can't split all three, but I'm going to have to.
Moses Gittins.
No, I think Liverpool will look at Mateus Cunha in the summer.
Ooh. So for Diaz.
I think he's one of the ones who can play multiple positions. My whole thing comes down to I think Liverpool are going to sell 3 attackers and they should go and buy Ibrahima, Semenyo and Cunha in the summer. All 3 of them.
Who's the third one? Semenyo, Cunha,
and Ibrahima.
Okay, Gene, give me one.
God, we're not looking forward to this one.
Simikas sold, Kirk is in.
Oh, look how
Nice and
close
simple. Nice
Peter
and
Evan, he's the Peter Evan of this channel. Fucking boring.
Gene has played safe. Gene has
I've
played
done
safe.
one in it. I'm gonna go flipping. But you guys are going for the forwards, the most important position, the left back position. Yeah, right. We need sorting. You lot flipping want to get rid of 4 strikers and bring on new 3 strikers.
Okay, Avi, give
Start
me
the
your-
position that needs sorting in it.
He's played safe. You can agree with Gene if that's one of yours thingy. You can go
That's
with.
one. I'm gonna to give you another 2. Yeah.
Yeah. Avi, I need to fucking Google this name. I'm ready for this. Go on.
I think Luis Diaz goes,
Ooh.
and I still Luis Diaz goes. Can I give you 2 names or not?
No, give me give me one.
I gave 3.
This guy's ITK. This guy's an ITK.
No, because no, it's not because I've been on the Nico
Tom,
Williams trail.
You will come back on the show and say, "Look, I told you Mbemo signed. I told you Semenyo." This guy will because he's giving two names now.
There's legitimate interest in Nico Williams. Forget the season he's having here, but I do think you know what? I'm gonna go with Luis Diaz out, Luis Openda in of Leipzig.
Okay.
Just a guess.
Back to me. I'll go with the left back option. Lot has mentioned him this year. I think he really likes him. The way he wants this left back to play in inside positions. I think we go for Miguel Gutierrez.
Girona. Okay.
I think there's a release clause of 35 million. Buyback option from Real Madrid. It might depend on how they go with Alphonso Davies. But I think Slot has been really, really impressed with this.
He would have been really useful against Forest because watching Andy Robertson try and play in the half space, oh my God.
Exactly that, Tom. I think Gutierrez is... I would go as far as I think if Real Madrid don't come in, I think he's first choice for Slot.
Wow.
Interesting.
God, that's an ITK.
No, this is pure feeling. Pure feeling.
Because no one's done it yet, I'll do midfield, and I will say Endo is going to go, and Boubacar Kamara from Villa comes in.
Injury prone, Tom.
When we say injury prone, he had a bad knee injury.
Jota, maybe.
he had a bad knee injury, but when you go look at his injury history, and I'm factoring in that we've got Ruben Peters, I don't think it's that bad, especially if you've got a number of good options in the middle there. He gives you the same versatility that Endo has in terms of being able to play centre-back or DM if it came down to it. And you just need to watch how he's come back from that injury. He looks like a better player after the injury, which is ridiculous. He was fantastic against Arsenal. He's been man of the match in half of Villa's Champions League games. I think that if Liverpool needs to go back to domestic recruitment, that there is your DM option. He unlocks everyone.
It begs that question why we didn't go for him when he was at Marseille.
How much?
It reminds me of
Was that Stevie Jeeple? Stevie Jeeple, Villa? I reckon you're going to pay about 45 for him. 45,
how old is
50.
he?
24.
It works then. It works. Okay, who's next, Gene?
Me. Trent out, Kimmich in.
Ooh, that is a very
And
good
this
shout.
guy, the Riaz, man, he's ruined my whole moment.
Is that General?
He
Is that
put
General
Joshua
Riaz?
Kimmich in. I had it in my head, yeah, and the
General
guy put the comment,
Riaz
I'm
is
thinking, you
in
gay.
General Riaz.
I was waiting for my moment all this way through, thinking I'm going to say Trent and I'm going to say Kim again. This guy put it up.
I think that's a good shout.
Respect to you, mate.
terms of
Cash
how-
respect to you, by the way.
I think that's realistic. I think how Slot wants that right back to come into midfield from right half spaces. He can put a cross in. He can control a game, and he can do a job at right back as well. Avi, what do you think?
Joshua Kimmich is a fantastic footballer, but nah, not for me.
Okay,
Not,
maybe
not
it's
at
not an
29, 30.
Yeah. Do you think? I think Liverpool. Yeah, I think it's a good shout, but I think FSG just. I think it might be a Klopp signing, not an FSG type of signing. I don't know what his wages are. Must be around about 200 grand. No?
More, way
380.
more.
Full lead, yo. Full lead, yo.
No, the guy's going to take a pay cut, man. Relax. Listen, if Trent goes, I want Kimmich for a
Kimmich
couple
on
of years.
380 grand. Oh my god. Okay, Avi, give me your second take.
Harvey Elliott out,
Oh, he's taking mine. I know what you're gonna say.
and there's a Kamara that I like. This is Lamine Kamara of Monaco.
But why? I didn't.
The profile doesn't have to be different. The profile can be different.
Okay. He's a good player. I told you I watched him against Arsenal, even though he didn't have a good game.
I gave an exclusive on Thursday. Me and Sheen.
Well, we're not going to get Lamine Yamal then, Tom. We'll get Lamine Kamara. I'll settle for that. He's Lamine. If he's half as good as Yamal, we've got a player. Is it back to me?
Yeah.
I was undecided on the third one. I'll stick with Harvey Elliott. And I'll go for Kulusevski.
You like him, yeah? Good shout.
I really like him. He can do bits out wide. He can do bits in midfield. Tom, you're a mute.
Get him on a little relegation release clause.
Yeah. So I really like the player. I think it was him or Mohamed Kudus, because I think there's versatility in both players. Can both play midfield. Can both play left, right. Kudus can play 10, false 9. He played at Ajax against us at Anfield. I think Kulusevski can play across the line. He can play right side in midfield. He can play 10. The way we play the 10, he's got legs, he's got energy, he's got creativity, and he's got output as well. I really like. He's 24, I think. He might cost a bit, around about 60, 70 million, but I think he's worth every.
Is he another one that gets a fair few injuries as well, though?
I don't know. He seems to be playing quite regularly this season. Tom's gonna quickly check his. He has had his problems.
I'm not looking at his. I'm looking at someone who I want to buy. But I need to check his injury history.
Tom's got Kamara, and this guy checking out.
I can get away with Konate. I can't get away with him. Jesus Christ, he picked up 9 injuries last season.
Cathal says Jacob Ramsey for Morton. Jacob Ramsey is another player. He's a good player.
Quality
Rodgers
brothers,
is a player a lot of people like. Ryan Shirky. He's
Okay,
available
well,
around
he's-
about 20 million euros.
No. Just
Red
wait,
Arm-
and he's still on the market. No one's coming for him. Come on, behave yourself.
Red Arm's asking me if Kulu quick enough. I think he is. He's not electric, but I think he makes up with his intelligence. Tiga, okay. Where are we? We're going back to Tom, yeah?
I'm gonna go. He's not the 100% choice, but I just think by virtue of his stellar injury history, he probably gets the nod for me.
Who's going out?
Who's gonna go out?
Didn't you think of that one?
No, I didn't, because I can't sell anyone in his position for it. He's coming in as a depth option in that position. Okay, we'll scam it and say that Simicast can go,
Okay.
and
No one's
the
mentioned.
Brighton. See, everyone would say that you go Uriel Hato at this point, but I'm not going to go for Hato. I'm going to go, for a laugh. I really like it. I know people say he's a little bit overrated. Jared Brantwaite.
It keeps popping up, his name.
I really like Jared Brantwaite. It was between him or Antonio Silva. To be honest, it was between them two. I really like Antonio Silva as well. Someone who he's not really getting much of an opportunity now at Benfica. There's so much potential there as a player, but just for the fact that Branthwaite, I think, can play pretty much across that back line, bar right back. I think that he'd probably get the nod for me being English as well. And if you get to stick one over Everton, why would you pass up that opportunity?
Okay. What about this lad here? Another lad, another name keeps popping up.
I like Schlotterbeck. I just don't know why. Whilst Van Dijk is at Liverpool, where Schlotterbeck plays regularly, because I don't think Schlotterbeck is going to be happy being a backup, and then I don't think he's necessarily great on the right. So I think you're going to bring in someone now at centre back. They're going to have to be young enough to understudy Van Dijk for a year or two.
Okay. Gene, give me a third.
Alisson leaves
Oi.
in the summer because of Mohamed Hashivili, and I think it's time to cash in, and I think he'll go in the summer. And look, I'm not saying we can't sign a goalkeeper because you've already signed him, Asim.
Well, don't you think Keller leaves as well in the summer?
Maybe that'll be a thingy, but I don't want to think about another goalkeeper because second choice I'm not too worried about right now. But I think we go for
Yaros, haven't we?
Sorry. Oh,
I
Yaros,
think we go. Yeah. I think we go for Lukeba.
That's another good name, though.
Oh, Lukeba. So you think we're going to keep 3 left backs at the club?
No, but look, I've already seen Mikas's chutti for me, innit?
Oh, yes, you did. Fair enough.
Man, we've still got 3 left backs then. It's just that 2 of them are named.
Yeah, I'm just keep the left backs now. innit? I'm going all out left backs. Well, Alisson, I'm telling you guys. Question. No, on serious question. Do we all think Alisson stays? Do you not think Alisson stays in the summer?
I've said it for months.
Avi's always said it that he's leaving.
Yeah, give me some credit now, yeah? Idiot.
I think you get one more year out. I think you get one more year out of him.
I think if that Saudi offer comes, we might think about it.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm with Tom. I think he gives us one more year.
If
Taffarel sticks around, Alisson sticks around.
I think the Saudi offer is going to come in the summer, Asim.
Is that ITK info? Or?
No. Saudi is you in it, not me. I'm never info. I'm just Emmy.
I'm just Emmy. Abi, come on, give me your third one, man. Is it going to be a bomber?
Mohamed Salah out.
Whoa! I
will go as far as saying the first player that we officially sign in July will be Tyler Dibling.
I will remove you from stream if you said that one more time. I'm actually being serious.
I think Tyler Dibling will be our first signing of the summer.
And you think Tyler Dibling is the Salah replacement?
He's an
18-year-old.
He's not the Salah replacement. I'm just telling you what we're doing.
Who's going to play right wing for us next season then?
We're going to find out, isn't it?
John Henry.
Linda.
Now, people are going to misconstrue that and think that Tyler Dibling is coming in for Salah. I don't see Dibling as a right winger for this football club.
So who's going to play there?
Who's going to play there?
That's not. You asked me 3 players that I believe will come in.
Well, who do you think is going to play there? You're allowed to say that, aren't you?
If Salah goes,
we're getting rid of our 70% of our goal involvement. Who plays there?
You know, give me Rafinha.
You ain't buying him. You've got Ballon d'Or, going for a Ballon d'Or right now, yeah, at Barcelona, and they're going to sell him to us. Sort your head down, man.
Kieran, you never know, Kieran. You never know.
Harry, just put the £50 million Brian Mbeumo from Brentford in the bag and we'll move on.
Sad mentioned Mbeumo yesterday, but I still feel that they'll have a name that we probably won't even know. That we probably don't even
to replace Salah, someone that we've never heard of is going to come and sort.
No, someone that we've heard of, but someone that we've heard of, but someone that we may not expect our club to be linked with. I think Salah's gone. Get Omari Hutchinson in from Ipswich. Get him in.
Oh my god!
This guy's actually taking the piss now. He's getting him off the screen.
I like Omari.
Hold on. So you're taking someone from Southampton, someone from Ipswich. Do you want anyone from Leicester?
You know that Yal Kanous. Yal Kanous is a good
player. He's actually good. I actually do like him.
He's a good player. I actually like him. I like him too.
We're just going back to the 2017 recruitment of who got relegated. Right, who's the best player? We'll take them.
Salah's going to be the hardest position to replace, whether it's this season, whether it's in 2 years or another year's time. It's going to be a very hard position.
I think it's common news that the club likes Brian Mbeumo. I just think maybe I'm looking for a household name to replace my idol, but I just think he's not Liverpool class. The stats, the nerds might tell me he is, where they can scale him up a couple of levels, and that's what the FSG model.
The numbers are very scalable. That's why the three guys I mentioned, Cunha, Semenyo, and Mbeumo. I'm really big on them three because those three have scalable numbers.
Yeah,
because Mbeumo had 1 year where he massively overperformed XG, and I think it's this year actually where he's done that because he scored a couple like cross-come shots. But for the most part, he still ranks quite highly on XG. Semenyo is also very good at XG to goals rate. If you just push that up, the assumption is that will naturally go with it. Same with Cunha's the one that I think could explode at Liverpool because
you know what I like about Semenyo, You know what I like about Semenyo? Every time I watch him, I've not watched a lot of him, but every time I do, he looks so comfortable at one, taking players on from a standing position, or if he's driving into the box, and it's both flanks and both feet. He scores goals with both feet comfortably.
He's such a powerful runner as well. Semenyo, if you go watch some of his clips, the amount of players that he just throws to the floor, that's why, like, if I was doing a fourth, I'd say we sell Ben Doak and we bring Semenyo in. I think that one could be a shoe. I think Semenyo.
I'd sign up for that right now.
I think Semenyo is the kind of winger that the recruitment staff look at and go, yes, I'll be all over that. Homegrown, 25, so you've got 6 years out of him at least. That's someone who can explode at a big club, and I'm shocked that I know that they've got a bunch of injuries, so they probably wouldn't sell this window now. But the likes of Arsenal, that they could really do with the Semenyo. And it's the comments like this. This is Liverpool, guys, not West Ham. Look at where we bought all our great players from. Sadio Mane came from Southampton, who were in about the same position that Bournemouth are in now. Van Dijk came from Southampton, who are in the same position Bournemouth are in right now. Andy Robertson came from Hull, who were in the same position.
If Jared Bowen was a little bit younger, we would have definitely been shopping.
If Jared Bowen was 24 instead of 29, he would have been signed by Jurgen Klopp 2 years ago.
And if Salah didn't play every week, Jared Bowen would be at Liverpool as well.
Oh, Jared Bowen was one of the... If Jurgen Klopp had his dream front three, it'd be Son on the left, Jared Bowen on the right, and it would probably be Bobby Firmino up front. That's the only guy I remember him being constantly waxing lyrical about, Bobby Firmino. But he loved Son and he loved Bowen. And I think that you look at Liverpool's success has come from buying domestically and buying from the teams where you can extrapolate it up. So many of them players came from that position. And yes, people argue it's a different era now. Yes, but the Premier League is also a lot stronger than it was 7 years ago.
Yeah. Whether we want to pay that Premier League tax now, whether we want to pay that Premier League tax is a different ball game to get all together. But do you think our very busy, very active sporting director takes advantage of his links down this?
I'm over his annual leave, by the way. He can't have much left at this point.
With respect, Asim, if this guy can't even get the players he's bought in the past in, we've got big problems, mate. Forget the Zuber and the other players. If he can't bring in players he's already previously bought into our club, get him out of the club because he ain't good enough. Yeah, Brighton's got Hoyson. I really like that Hoyson. I'm not gonna lie to you. Yeah, that centre back. I really like him. We're linked with Kirkes. You know, there's Semenyo, another one. That's three players that practically can sort out. Look, Kirkes will take, Semenyo will take, and if I said to you again, Hoyson, all three of you will take them three players right now to sort out our problem positions. You do it, Asim. You would.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you? Go, but sign the players that you signed previously. You would, man. You take Kirkes, Hoyson, and that flipping and Semenyo as three. I'll take it. I'll take it right now.
Depends who leaves. I signed Kirkes, yeah.
Asim, I was with my friends yesterday.
Okay.
A couple of sources.
Which ones?
Just keep an eye out on.
You're at shoot. What? Let me have this.
Let me listen.
Tell me what.
I don't like you.
You know you're going to get exclusives though. Every show.
It's not an exclusive. It's a lie.
No, it's not. How can it be a lie?
Because you're a liar.
Okay, it's a lie, it's a fabrication. But can I just say, I was told this. It's another exclusive here, Asim.
Okay.
Takefusa Kubo, another one.
Oh, Kubo. I actually do like him, to be fair to you.
No, he got
I'm
like
not a big.
one goal in an
One
entire
Japanese
year.
player I'm not a big fan of, but listen, they
You know
bring good
what
luck.
have you done
The
there?
Japanese bring
He's
good luck.
Googled
He
Salah.
was looking at replacement. A few names came up and he's gone for it.
That was, no,
Yeah, I
Asim,
told you, man.
Asim, that was from Matt. That was the source who said Takefusa.
Oh, I thought it was chili sauce. What's mayonnaise saying? You said a couple of sauces.
that happened
We're
tomorrow.
out.
Man. That happened tomorrow.
Well, no, joking aside, Avi, he's the player that we've been previously linked to.
I think he's lightweight.
I was just about to come to that. Okay, let's see what happens. Maybe need to clip this show, save it. Let's move.
This is brilliant. Abby, sit on the floor, please. Your take's so fucking horrendous. You gotta love it. Nice one.
Okay, before we go, quick prediction tomorrow. I'll go for 3-1 Liverpool.
I thought you said when you meant prediction, I thought you meant like whatever breaks news about contracts tomorrow. Liverpool 1-1 tomorrow. 1-1.
1-1. Tom? You've had some good results. Beat Real Madrid, beat Atletico Madrid. Drew to Juve, I think.
I'll take a crap 1-0.
A crap 1-0, Gene?
2-1 Liverpool.
2-1 Liverpool. Okay, let's see. We're coming back with a post-match tomorrow, straight after the...
I'm at work. Wednesday I'll be...
I'm not at the game tomorrow, so I'll do it. If you're at the game.
I'll do it.
No,
I think he's going to host it as well.
I'm not at the game.
Are you hosting tomorrow,
No,
Gene?
no, Avi's hosting.
I'm not tomorrow. Yeah.
So how come you're going to do it?
I said Wednesday I can do
Yeah,
it.
people don't like me hosting. People want me to talk. They don't want me to host. Hosting's boring, man.
The host does talk as well.
Yeah, that is boring, man. You talk shit, boring. I find it boring, man. I don't like
Gene-
hosting, man.
Gene will be with you hosting. Please
Oh, here we
show
go.
love and support.
Exactly. You
Right
were
now,
ready
how
to
did
drop
I know-
100 million
how did I know
bags.
this was gonna-
You were ready to drop 100 million bags on this guy. Nowhere to be seen anymore. Nowhere
Avi,
to
you're
be
going to come and
seen.
talk to me in 2 years' time and say, this guy, we made a big mistake. We should have dropped that 100 on him. 2 years' time. Yeah, why are they all coming for me today, man? Look, here comes another one for me.
Who?
You winning the Ballon d'Or.
Yeah, come on, it's better than Avi's though, man.
Avi's burners are in the chat.
I'll be honest.
No,
If you
it's not the Burners.
want
The
to
Indians
spend
have
big
arrived. The
money,
Indians have arrived. That's what it is.
if you want to spend close to 100 million on water in the summer,
All right, chill out now,
I don't
Tom,
know.
man. I made a mistake, yeah?
So, Tom,
I've had some hows in my time for midfield, and I said check the Konate for 65 million when we were really desperate, but I wouldn't pay 100 million for Wharton.
Tell you who's
Yeah,
having
I
a
know.
decent season.
This channel
And we
is
were
well
all raising our eyebrows for Liverpool. I still think he's not good enough for Liverpool, but it's nice to see him doing well. Sander Berge for Fulham.
done.
He played well against us, you know.
In the morning. Brilliant.
Oh, did you?
Brilliant
Oh,
footballer.
He's been really good.
Fantastic.
And they're not missing Paulinia. I think
Would
that's the
we-
biggest compliment I
You
can
know,
give him.
if Salah was to leave, would we take Harry Wilson by any chance back at the
Oh,
club?
All right, I'm going.
End
Take
of
care,
show.
Asim. End of
Thank you
show.
very
Take
much,
care,
guys.
guys.
Thanks for listening. Have a good night. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.